Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Between the Zones. As usual, I am your host, Kees Cornelissen, and we're here, as usual, to talk about the movie news, all the movie news that dropped in the last week. It's quite something, actually, so let's just get into this. But before we do, I have to introduce the usual guys on my panel. First of all, Chris Doman, how are you doing?
Sure. Well, I'm feeling pretty good. A little tired though, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good. Uh, otherwise, I'm here to talk some movies. I'm not feeling like any rants today, which that's a rare occurrence if there ever was one. But yeah.
Well, I made sure that most of the topics we talk about aren't rantable. However, I may sneak one in. As we like to rant on this show a little bit, right? Also, joining us is Evan, of course. Hi, Evan. How are you doing?
Bahubali trailer reactions. That's all I have to say.
Oh, you know me so well. So let's just dive into the first news topic. As usual, the weekend box office numbers they're in. The estimates are that of the Furious is number one, 19.4 million, dropping 49.5%, and already crossing 1 billion worldwide in just its third weekend of release. Second is How to Be a Latin Lover, opening at 12 million. Third is Bahubali 2, The Conclusion, actually, at 10.1 million. And I have a very strange affinity with that movie for some fucking reason. So number four is The Circle, opening at 9.3 million and closing out the top five. The Boss Baby, 9 million, only dropping 28.8%. Interesting top five. Evan, what are your thoughts on this top five this weekend?
Um, wow, Fate of Furious is the fastest movie this year to reach $1 billion worldwide. Beta, I think Beauty and the Beast took 6 weeks. This only took three, which is ridiculous. How to Be a Latin Lover. What a nice little surprise. I heard it was a cute little film. Bahubali 2, The Conclusion. Wow, this is definitely the shock of the weekend. No one predicts that would hit the top five of this domestic release. Wow, that's surprising. The Circle, only in fourth, with an all-star cast of Emma Watson, John Boyega, the passed away Bill Paxton, and Tom Hanks. Wow, that God, The Circle did horrible. And then Boss Baby, this is the perfect example where the fans don't agree with the critics. It keeps sticking around in the top five, and fans really seem to be reacting well to this movie. Hence why it keeps making money.
I would actually disagree on that because it's at 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it seems that the people who do like the movie actually think the movie is really good and they liked it a lot. So it's not just the fans who like it, also the critics. Anyway, Chris, your thoughts on this top five?
um. So why didn't you do a reaction video for Bahubali 2 trailer? I mean, Christ,
Because
if we had known it was gonna, if you could have had the foresight of knowing this film was actually gonna make the top five opening weekend, holy crap! But okay, and all joking aside, I'm not gonna go on that too long. How to Be a Latin Lover, that came out of nowhere. I'm a little surprised. The Circle, what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. The movie sucks, but Boss Baby, it's still got some legs. Jeez, but to be fair, when your highest grossing movie of the weekend only gets to less than $20 million, that's not saying a thing.
nobody went to the theater this weekend.
Yeah, I only did to go see Colossal, and that was actually a good movie, guys. Check it out. But Fate of the Furious, another drop off of almost half of the money it raked in, but it still cracked a billion worldwide. It's kind of this is the other Transformers franchise. Domestically speaking, this movie is not making that much money. It's making most of its money overseas.
China,
Exactly. So
Asians love fast cars and fighting robots, so yep, that's where it's getting the money from. Yeah, in my case, in case people don't know this, because of course between the admin team people do, but my biggest video still is my trailer reaction to the Bahubali the first movie trailer. I did a reaction to that last year somewhere, 80,000 views, and it's still my biggest viewed video on the channel. However, a few weeks ago, not a few weeks, a few months ago, I decided to stop reacting to Indian movie trailers because I never actually got to watch the movie. That's why I didn't react to this trailer. However, if I'd known this, I probably would have done a reaction just to get views. Yes, I'm a view whore sometimes. Blame me for that because I want to have views, bitches. No, but all joking aside, Bahubali 2, it's not that surprising because actually the first one also made quite a lot of money in quite a limited amount of theaters. So that's just a very good, popular Bollywood movie that people want to see. How to Be a Latin Lover. What the fuck is that doing at number 2? I have no idea, but apparently people are liking that. The Circle, I'm not that surprised that it did so badly, simply because when I looked at Rotten Tomatoes last week, I saw that it was like at 20% or something, so it's just a terrible movie that people just don't want to see. The only movie I saw this weekend, actually not this weekend, was last week, was Guardians 2. We'll get into that later. Let's just move on to the first actual news story of this week. Big news from all kinds of studios. A lot of studios announced like their release schedules and casting news. So the first casting news that we're talking about today, Jeff Goldblum joins Jurassic World 2. He is going to again portray the character of Ian Malcolm that we know and love from the first and the second Jurassic Park movie. I wonder, Chris, what are your thoughts on this one?
But here's the thing. Is that
had to get in.
I was barely in the second one because that's not really me. That's like an impersonator of Jeff Goldblum trying to be Ian Malcolm. And but if I may, I hope that this time we see Ian in his true beautiful form.
Went a little bit Shatner instead of Goldblum right there, but other than that. But I assume you like this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Evan?
I think the studio started to notice that, Universal specifically started to notice that the kids weren't really well received. So I wonder if they're bringing in, Jeff Goldblum's character in Malcolm and starting to drain out the actual impact that the kids have on the film. And I think it's really good, not only fan service, but good news for the fans, knowing that they are tying it back into the older Jurassic Parks, obviously. And probably the biggest reason why Jeff Goldblum joined was because they gave him a big fat check with a big bunch of zeros, and he said, "Okay, I'll come join."
Well, no, probably, yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Look, the thing is, Jeff Goldblum was probably the best part of Independence Day Resurgence, even though that movie was not that good. And I hope that he can Look, I like Independence Day Resurgence. The movie is fucking stupid and bad and whatnot, but I like it for some damn reason.
All right,
so
fair enough.
Just let me at that. And the thing is, like, he was fun in that he could reprise a role that he played in the 90s, so I think he can once again reprise a role that he did in the 90s. Actually, oh no, wait, 1 year off from each other because Jurassic Park 2 was 97 and Independence Day was 96. So 1 year.
I guess you could say Jeff Goldblum is blooming back into his full form.
Okay, before we get any other crappy puns in there, let's just move on to the next news story, right? Episode 9 is set for summer 2019, Indiana Jones for summer 2020. I'll start this one off. What the fuck are they doing? Seriously. I mean, I get it. Yes, Star Wars was originally meant as the May movie. How much did The Force Awakens make in December? Oh, wait, 2 billion worldwide. How much did Rogue One make, the first anthology movie of Star Wars ever, in December? 1 billion worldwide. Do you not think that it's going to make more money in December than in May? Are you kidding me? This is stupid. I mean, yes, it will still make money, but keep the December release date because in December, that's the only big movie coming out probably, and then it will have legs in January and February because you only have Oscar movies and some shitty January movies coming out. So I don't get this. They should stick to December. I hope that after The Last Jedi, they'll see, okay, move it back to December, and then you'll make your money because it's probably the smartest thing you can do. Indiana Jones 5, on the other hand, sure. After Indiana Jones 4, I don't really have a whole lot of faith, but sure, whatever. Chris, your thoughts on this one?
For episode 9, freaking ditto. Look, I'm sorry, this was... okay, here's the thing. Force Awakens created a gold mine accidentally. And then they're continuing to use that gold mine. Why would you stop, though, after The Last Jedi? It doesn't make sense. It is now their month to own. Why would you give it up so willingly? But, whatever. It's fine. The Indiana Jones thing, though, does make a little bit more sense. Only because right now Steven Spielberg is in post-production on Ready Player One, and he's also in production on that untitled Tom Hanks Meryl Streep film. And
That untitled Oscar movie.
yeah, exactly. And one other project in between that and Indiana Jones. And so by the time he's done with Ready Player One and this untitled film coming out, they'll just be starting production on the Indiana Jones. And I'd rather they take their time, and hopefully we don't get another David Koepp disaster known as Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Don't remind. We do not speak of it. Evan.
I don't really care. It's still gonna make the same amount of money that it did, and if it doesn't, Disney's willing to experiment because they're just gonna have another franchise to put in that December to scare everything else. So if they're like, okay, we didn't make as much money here, they're like, okay, we can put it back in December, move another film out of our December slot, and just put it somewhere else. That's why I like Disney. They're willing to experiment, and they're trying to find the best formula that works for Star Wars, and I appreciate that. Indiana Jones makes sense. I don't think this movie is actually going to happen with Harrison Ford. I'm sorry. I don't see it happening. It's just going to keep getting pushed back. That's just what I think.
Bro!
Controversial opinion.
Bro!
Are you kidding me right now?
Bro!
Sorry.
By the way, speaking of Disney being smart, you know what movie they're putting Episode 9 up against in May? Avengers 4. Are you kidding me? Those are two huge fucking movies that people want to see, but if you put that out in the same month, people will choose. They're not going to see both because it costs money.
Case, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to actually switch over to Jacob for 1 second here.
Fuck you.
But you have to listen to me now. So, the thing is, every Avengers film, by the time that Episode 9 would come out, which will be 3 weeks later, it'll have lost most of its legs. That's the facts, because I'm Australian and I know these things.
He brought up numbers. He's not lying to you guys.
No, but, okay. He also has to keep in mind, though, this is the Avengers film that has literally everybody in it. So, of course, this thing is going to have an even wider appeal than the previous installments. You look me in the eye right now, Evan, and tell me that's not going to happen.
I don't think so, because Civil War made 170. Age of Ultron, they keep going on a decline, and that's just how it's gonna work.
Well, I would say that's more from superhero fatigue than anything, but let's move on before this becomes a full-on debate.
Oh yes, please let's. Speaking of debates, by the way, Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner are cast as Timon and Pumba in the Lion King live-action remake, which is now set for July 2019. Well, yeah, right here. Evan, start us off.
This is freaking awesome. I am probably the most excited out of any of you guys for this movie. Jungle Book was great. Cinderella was great. Beauty and the Beast was great. These movies keep getting better and better and better. And Jon Favreau directing Lion King, he's the perfect choice because he directed Jungle Book, so he knows how to use that type of CGI. And this cast that they have just keeps building and getting better and better. You can't tell me. I feel like this is the Han Solo movie for Kees. I think in the sense that there's no point in having it, but the stuff that they keep doing, it just keeps getting better and better and better. This movie is going to be fantastic, and it's coming out in the right time, July of 2019.
All right,
Chris.
Let's go.
I'm gonna keep this short because this is gonna be good. Why couldn't you just get Ernie Sabala and Nathan Lane?
Thank you.
Next.
All right. Seth Rogen is not funny. Seth Rogen is not a good choice. I honestly don't think he is good at all. So, like, fuck this news. I hate this. I don't really know. I don't even know who Billy Eichner is. But seriously, the original cast members for Timon and Pumba are still alive and well. Why don't you just get him back? I mean, this movie. I've been against this movie since day one because you can't improve upon the original for me. And this is just so stupid that they're. Okay, I'm not getting into a rant. This movie. I don't want it, but I'm happy that Evan is excited for it because someone at least is, and I'm not. Let's just move on to something that I actually do like. Disney release schedule. Disney has released their entire schedule. We already talked about the Lion King remake and Indiana Jones in Episode 9, but they also they completed their slate up until 2020, announcing live-action movies from originals, other animated movies, among them Frozen 2, and just some untitled movies that they are not really a lock on, but they have plans for making them. And being Disney, of course, they'll make them because they're making a shit ton of money with all their movies they have releasing. I am actually very happy they're making a Frozen 2 because I loved the first Frozen and I would want to see more in that world because I think they did a very good job of world building and good characters. So I would want to see that one. It's set for November 2019, so we'll have to wait a little bit. But I'm excited for it. The other ones, I don't know. I just don't want them to continue making live action movies from animated classics that are already great and you can't really improve upon, like Beauty and the Beast and Lion King or whatnot. But I wonder, Chris, what are your thoughts on this?
Out of them, the only ones I'm actually excited for are Mary Poppins Returns because, as a fan,
Emily Blunt.
Exactly, and as a fan of the original, to be honest, I want to come back to this world. I want to see what's going on now with the Banks family. Frozen 2 because, hello, Frozen, top 10 favorite Disney films. Yeah. Then the Wreck-It Ralph sequel, the Break the Internet or whatever they call it. I'm excited for it, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the original because there's just a few story elements I didn't quite agree with, but otherwise, I'm still looking forward to this because the fact that for the first time since
In forever. Sorry.
Thank you. But for the first time since The Rescuers Down Under, we are getting an actual sequel from Walt Disney Animation Studios, not Disney Toon Studios, not one of their lower tier. Yeah, not from Pixar. Actual Disney, air quotes, canon.
It's not a straight to DVD thing.
Exactly, because
yeah,
when you can only do 2 decent ones, you got a problem.
Yeah, Evan.
Just a spoonful of sugar, helps some medicine go down.
Wow, I'm really excited seen that movie.
I love Mary Poppins. And I love the fact that Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to be in it. That's the only reason why I'm excited to talk about this topic.
I should hang up on you.
That guy's awesome. Honestly, there's just a bunch of release dates. It just shows that Disney has a plan, and Disney's going to probably execute 3/4 of their movies. Probably a few of them are going to get pushed back. A few of them are probably going to get pushed forward from those release dates. And yeah, that's kind of what I have to say.
Right, so with casting release dates, do we have anything? Oh no, okay. We'll have another release thing and later. But first off, 2 trailers dropped this week. The first one we're going to talk about right now. The other one at the end of the show. This one I loved, the Kingsman: The Golden Circle trailer. This was, I think a perfect first trailer. You introduce us. The trailer starts off like we see a little bit of what we already know from the first one. Then it introduces some new characters. It shows a little bit of what is going to happen in this movie. I loved it because I absolutely love the first Kingsman. I can't wait for it. One thing though, why the fuck didn't this trailer release earlier? Because I already went on a rant last week, but god damn it, I wanted that trailer the moment that they made the announcement, and not like, oh, we're making an announcement, it's coming soon, and we're making the announcement, it's coming tomorrow. Like, fuck off! Just give me the goddamn trailer, and don't do this for the next trailer. Just drop the trailer. Let me watch this trailer the moment you have it, because I know you have it the moment that you make an announcement. It's not that you need another week to put that trailer together. Just drop the fucking trailer and just let me watch it, because I love this trailer and I want you to love the trailer right away and not wait for it.
Oh,
All right.
Lord.
Enough of that. Evan, your thoughts on the Kingsman 2 trailer?
I thought it was cool. There's some debate whether it showed too much or not. We can't really make that judgment until we see the movie. So, but I thought it was a cool trailer. I enjoyed it.
Okay, short but sweet or something. Chris?
I finally watched the trailer. Because this guy was hounding me from the moment it came out. Like, oh my god, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. It's a good trailer. It's a very good trailer. It sets up the story. It, brings in some of what we've seen before. Tells us where everyone's at now. And, yeah, we're advancing the plot. We're moving forward. It's not going to... I'm so far, it's looking like it's not going to be the same shtick that we got in the last film, which I enjoy. I really liked the first one. Was it my favorite movie 2015? No, but was it a very enjoyable film that I really liked? Of course. So, yeah, just next time, please don't do that teaser for a teaser bullshit. Just give me the trailer.
Right? Yeah. I do wonder because this trailer didn't really show it, and the first movie only hinted that it could happen in a sequel. Do you guys think that Roxy and Exia are going to get together or not in this movie?
I think they'll bone, but they won't stay together.
That makes sense. Evan?
Yeah, I guess so.
Evan is too young to talk about these type of things.
Evan, I think it's time for us to talk about the birds and the bees.
Every time we bring up this subject, Evan gets so awkward. It's so funny.
Okay. And his mic's down.
And his mic's down. Oh boy. Let's just quickly move on to something that Evan can talk about, hopefully, instead of this kind of crap. Because the next story, we already knew that Deadpool 2 was slated for 2018. Now they finally confirmed it's going to come out in June or July. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember right now. But besides Deadpool 2, we're also getting a Dark Phoenix X-Men movie and a New Mutants movie in 2018. So 3 X-Men movies coming out. Evan, give us your thoughts on this one, please.
Okay, I don't even know what Fox is doing with their lives anymore. This is my rant. Like, literally, guys, I don't know where they're going with their continuity. It never makes sense. So here's my thing. As long as they put out good movies, I'm okay. If the continuity makes sense, I won't be mad, because that's just the expectation nowadays with Fox. Mini rant over.
But continuity with X-Men. They don't care about that kind of crap.
No, it just hurts.
But what do you think about these movies coming out? Are you looking forward to Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, or?
I'll get hyped because it's an X-Men movie. If it's good, then I'll be extremely happy. If it's bad, then I'll just be like, whatever. That's just me.
Fair enough.
All right, Chris.
Okay. So I did go off on a tangent about this on the Take 3 live show last week, but I'll just sum up my thoughts again real quick.
Please do.
Why are you doing 3 movies in a year when before you guys were actually being smart about it and doing 1 film every 2 to 3 years? But no, we have to play the Disney Marvel game. And here's what's even the most confusing part about it. It's 3 separate timelines we're dealing with here. We're dealing with Deadpool's timeline, the First Class timeline, And we're also dealing with this brand new franchise that's going to try to kick off the ground.
McAvoy or Stewart, these timelines are so confusing.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Deadpool definitely nailed the timeline wise. Look, I don't really care what timelines they're set in. I accepted a long time ago that X-Men movies do not have continuity whatsoever as long as they just put out good movies. Like I liked X-Men Apocalypse. I love Days of Future Past and First Class. Love Deadpool. Like Logan. It's like they're making good movies. So as long as they just keep making good movies, I don't care about the continuity. I'll figure it out for myself, and I'll just enjoy these because I want to see a Dark Phoenix movie. We've seen it been done before and not being good in a movie, X3, and then we got the setup in Apocalypse, which was interesting to see, and I'm like, I want to see what they can do with it. So I hope they can actually make something out of it this time, make me a good movie. And New Mutants, I know really nothing about, so we'll see. But I'm excited for this. I want to see it. I'm happy that they at least have a plan, unlike some other comic book movie companies. Let's not get into that one today, guys. Let's just move on to something that I really like. They once again released a prologue for Alien Covenant. After already releasing one where they showed the team for Alien Covenant, they made another prologue that ties Prometheus into the next movie. Actually, I rewatched Prometheus a few weeks ago. Was the second time for me watching. I really like that movie. I think it's a very good sci-fi movie. I get why people don't like it that much because it doesn't really tie into Alien, but then again, it didn't need to, I think. I think as a standalone sci-fi movie, it's really good. And now Prometheus tying into Alien Covenant with this prologue, I think it makes sense. It's really good that they do these kind of things, that you introduce something that is canon in this universe besides the movies. You can just look up the clip on YouTube and just watch it. And I'm excited for Alien Covenant. I cannot wait for this movie. I want to see it. It's coming out in a few weeks. Cannot wait for it. Evan, have you finally gotten around to watching Alien and Aliens, I wonder?
We have a plan. I will be seeing it very soon. But I don't know. Okay, I don't understand the point of these prologue things because I've heard like conflicting reports that you have to see this prologue in order to understand the movie, or you have to see this prologue in order to this. If that's true, then why are you putting out these prologues? I want to see the movie to see the movie. I don't want to watch a prologue and then see a movie. That's not part of my viewing experience. I'm sorry.
You can find it on YouTube. What's the issue?
But it's the same thing as like I don't want to read a book to understand the movie. That's kind of
That's
the
fair.
same kind of argument.
That's
So
fair.
it's like we'll see how it goes. The marketing for Alien Covenant's been kind of weird. At first, it was fantastic with the posters that they were putting out, but this prologue thing just makes me confused.
You know what? I actually completely understand his point. I completely understand it. And while I just appreciate it for what it is, because now what I'm really hoping is that these prologues, A, tie into the actual film, B,
They do.
but here's the other thing, though. I don't want them to be required viewing. Kind of like how I don't want to be required to read Catalyst before I watch Rogue One. Which, if that is the case, well then, I understand his frustration. I understand completely. But, to be fair, though, this is Ridley Scott. A man who...
Made The Martian.
At least lately, yes. Lately, he has been on a hot streak.
Lately, yes.
So, I'm just like, you know what? I'm okay with it. Because if I put my trust in him, put my faith in him, he'll deliver a good product, and I will be watching the bodies drop like flies come May 19th. Oh, you can't get here fast enough.
Now, on the argument, I'm going to go into this real quick, I hope. On the argument of comparing like this prologue as required viewing to like require that Catalyst is required for Rogue One. First of all, Catalyst is not required for Rogue One. It will just make you appreciate the movie even better. But you can watch Rogue One on its own without reading Catalyst. On the other hand, though, Catalyst is a book that you will have to pay for and that you will have to do a lot of effort to actually get and read. So yes, when a book is required reading to fully understand, fully appreciate a movie, that sucks. This is a 2-minute 30 clip on YouTube. No effort is required, like almost no effort whatsoever to see this one, and it's just a fun little prologue that you can just watch on the internet. So I don't really see the argument as like this is like a book required, because a book is actual a lot of effort. And sure, if this is required to actually understand the movie, that kind of sucks. But I watch it, and and therefore I just like it, and I don't complain about this kind of crap because I can just watch it on YouTube, and that's why I like it.
I just mean, like, in my case, and I'll end it here. Um, I don't understand the studio because most of their actual viewers seeing the movie probably haven't seen these prologues. So if they come out of the movie and then they watch the movie and then they're confused about a few things, what if they didn't watch the prologue, I feel like that might hurt the film and word of mouth and things like that.
Potentially, but maybe. Well,
I don't think
see.
it'll hurt that much though. Well, indeed, we'll see. Otherwise, you should just ask your nerdy friend, like, hey, wait, how does this tie into Prometheus? Yes, there's a clip online. Okay, I'll check it out. It's the easiest thing you can do. But let's move on to the last news story before we go to opening this week. Oh boy, this is going to get some confusing opinions around the panel, I think, because the Cars 3 trailer dropped, a full trailer. This was the first thing that I saw after watching the first little gritty teaser that they put out a few months ago. And I'm like, it's okay, but based on past experience, like, I like the first Cars. Don't love it. It's not one of Pixar's best. I just think it's a fine, nice little movie. Cars 2 is atrocious, though, in my honest opinion. And Cars 3, I hope it's a little bit more like the first one and not like the second one. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll see it. I do know that Evan is very excited for this movie. So, Evan, give us your thoughts on Cars
Look,
3.
I really enjoyed Cars 1. And they're nowhere near like my top movies of Pixar movies, but I still really enjoyed the movies. Cars 2 I thought was just a cute, enjoyable movie. Cars 3, okay. First trailer was freaking awesome. That gritty Lightning Queen crash, the animation looks beautiful. That was awesome. Now, this trailer is confusing me. The shots, and if you were to like take the clips away one by one, it's leaning towards a darker movie. But the trailer altogether gave it this like really light-hearted tone, and it's really conflicting me, to say the least.
So much grit. Sorry,
I'm not sure.
I just went full Brett Sheridan for a second.
That, and then I don't know why they're not using the character of Sally to fill that role of the woman who's going to teach McQueen. I don't understand that because their relationship in the first movie was really good.
Well, yeah, but she's not a racer. She's not going to teach him how to race as a car. The other chick, that's more of her job.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm just really conflicted. I don't like it nor dislike it. I'm just conflicted.
So wait. So then Evan and I are on the same page then.
I guess
Cats
so.
and dogs are living together. Mass hysteria. Game over, man. Game over.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I just made a double reference, baby.
He just quoted Aliens and Ghostbusters in the same sentence.
Oh
now
yeah.
Now that's cats and dogs living together.
I should have stuck a Back to the Future quote in there, but oh well.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Oh well. Captain Hindsight is looking pretty good. No, the trailer.
Right.
It looked fine, but yeah, that tone is just so weird because basically, put they're making this film look like Rocky 4. You know, where it's our hero gets beaten by someone better than him, and he has to find his roots and get back to what made him so great. But now it's just oy. It looks good though.
Yeah.
And the voice actors are kind of trying.
Except for Larry, the cable guy, whatever his name is.
Now,
That
but I
guy's
will,
just
but I
weird.
will say this: I did hear the guy who was voiced by George Carlin in the first film, the hippie guy, hippie van.
Yeah.
Oh man, that just it's breaking my heart because that's not George.
All right. I thought of a joke and I forgot it now. I wanted to make a joke. Damn it. Okay, I'm not funny. I suck. Let's move on to opening this week. Actually, depending on where you live, it's either opening this week or it already opened last week. Haha, stupid Americans, fuck you. I don't care. Sorry. Yeah, the only big release opening in America this week, I already talked about last week. That was my fault. I thought there were other movies coming out, but apparently not. The only big release for you guys this week is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, I already saw this movie, so I'm not going to give my thoughts right now. But Chris, are you going to see this movie?
I don't know, man. Between Jacob and you guys, it's like, well, I guess I can go see it, or maybe I'll just go watch Colossal again because that was actually really good. But look, as a guy who likes Guardians 1, like I don't
Eden.
super love it, but just for the sake of, on the off chance that this movie ties into the MCU and ties into Infinity War and shit like that, it's like, well, then I'd better go see it just so I'm not confused come this time next year.
That's true. All right. So with okay,
Be careful.
yeah, I'm
Just
gonna
stay
be
out of the
careful.
conversation, or let Chris go.
I'm gonna be careful. I'll just say there are
You know
about
I don't
five end.
honestly care.
All right. So there are about 5 end credit scenes, give or take a few. Honestly, that's not a joke. There are like 5 end credit scenes. Just stick until the very end. Um, One of them ties into Infinity War. That's all I say about that.
Okay.
So for that you will want to see it. Having your thoughts.
Look, there's negative buzz, but it also has 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, so the movie was good. There's no denying that facts. The movie, well, the general population thinks the movie was good. You can't deny that. Now,
Sure.
look, no matter the negative things that people are gonna say about this movie, I'm still gonna be super excited for it. Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista, the whole cast, just all of them back together again. I'm just super excited to see this movie. Honestly, that's just how it is for me.
Yeah. Speaking of Dave Bautista, he may be the best part of the movie.
Nice.
Honestly, he was awesome. And I liked it. I liked the movie mostly because the characters that I love from the first one are as great as the first one. They build upon them. They give some backstory to some of them. Actually, like Nebula and Yondu get some really interesting bits in this movie, which I wasn't really expecting. Baby Groot, yeah, he's there. Um, yeah, honestly, like the first Groot was awesome. I absolutely love Groot. He's like my second favorite character behind Star Lord in the first one, and this one, he's there. That's about that. The movie, you'll like it if you like the first one. Like if you love the first one, you'll like this one. If you like the first one, I don't know what you'll think about this one. But it is at least enjoyable. It has good humor. It has good world building. It has the characters from the first one. It's just not as good as the first one because of reasons you'll see for yourself. I will say it's one of the worst Marvel movies, which saddens me a lot. I wanted to love this movie. This was my second most anticipated movie of the year. That's about that. That's all I'll say about Guardians 2. Go see for yourself what you think about it. Let's just end this show. I We're gonna plug ourselves right here. Evan, where can people find you online?
EDEGRAFF11 on Twitter, and you can find me as a writer on schmoesno.com. We actually just wrote a little article about the weekend box office. Yeah.
Indeed. And Chris, where can people find you?
Oh, good for you.
Hey, I'm plugging where I am. Hey,
You
man,
guys can
it's
find
not
me on Twitter at LSARBandMN. That's my band, Last Shot Redemption. And you can also find us, the Take 3 Productions channel, on Twitter at FanSchmodown.
And you can find me, the Dutch Movie Guy, on YouTube. I'm actually not really that active figuring out how to do videos on my channel. So as of right now, not doing a whole lot of videos, but stay tuned. I will do an announcement video with what I'm doing soon at Dutch Movie Guy on Twitter, and doing some stuff here on Between the Zones. This was our show. See you next week. Take care.